It's 5 o'clock. At this time, I'll call the work session for Perry City Council Monday, January 9, 2017 to order, please. We have 4. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Item 3 are items for review and discussion. Item 3A is a discussion of a tourism product development resource team. Mr. Smith.
Mr. Mayor. Mayor and council, we were recently made aware of an opportunity for the city through the Georgia Department of Economic Development. You may or may not know Rebecca Snyder. She is the region tourism project manager. And she asked us if we would be interested in something like this. Now, knowing tourism is not necessarily in our wheelhouse, we thought it'd be a good idea to partner with the CBB on this. And what you have basically before you tonight is kind of an outline of the project, of the program, kind of what we're looking at doing. Basically, we're looking at developing our tourism product, enhancing who we are as a destination community, figuring out what assets we might have, what sort of resources we might have as a community, and bringing those to bear and capturing some of that lucrative dollar from tourism here in the state. You're all probably aware that tourism is a top 5 industry here in Georgia. How can we as a city better take advantage of that fact and capture some of those, again, tourist dollars? Just going to kind of take you through the memo a little bit. It's a pretty self-explanatory program. Basically, what we need is a letter from the mayor requesting assistance from the Georgia Department of Economic Development. They have kind of a backlog, so we would anticipate a June 2017 timeframe for this. The program in and of itself is free. We would be expected to cover the costs associated with travel from the experts and the folks from the state who come down and help us with it. Ultimately, what we'll have is tourism experts in our community for 2 to 4 days, analyzing what we're doing currently, providing information, and creating a package that is pretty significant. You can see here, this is a city of Precise, that will tell us how to better market ourselves as a tourist destination and better take advantage of tourism industry as an industry. That's kind of a lot. We have some further information in there, some information about the program. I'll take any questions you may have. We also have Miss Allison Hamsley here with us from the CVB. Allison, is there anything you'd like to add?
I think you pretty much covered all the major points, just that it is a free program that the Department of Economic Development provides to us, and it would help us know, like Robert said, of what our main market can be for tourism and where we can really focus on those things.
Allison and I have an excellent working relationship. We'll kind of be tag teaming this initiative, setting everything up. But I think it's an excellent resource. It's free. Some other communities have benefited greatly from it. And again, tourism it's a huge industry. Tourism is economic development. Whatever we can do as a city to further our product, I think would certainly be worthwhile taking advantage of.
Ms. Hamsley, did the CBB ever participate in something similar to this in the past?
Not that I'm aware of, we have not.
Is this going to be a joint effort, or will the CBB be able to take the lead on it? Or does it matter?
It's going to have to be a city-driven initiative, but it's a partnership.
Okay.
You can see the third page in your packets is a draft letter for you, Mayor. And what I would be asking from all of you is permission to move forward with the mayor executing this letter and requesting assistance. So just through the nature of the program, it is driven by the local government, the city or the county. But again, with having a strong CBB here in the city of Perry, we want to bring their resources to bear in this and work together and help them promote our community.
Council?
Mr. Smith, I'm all in favor of tourism. I really like tourism. But I can't see us spending a whole lot of money with the situation we have with motels that are deplorable, absolutely deplorable. And we're doing nothing about it. I don't know what we can do with private property. But it sure is sad to me to remember how our tourist business used to be back in the day. And compared to what we have now, it's just deplorable, absolutely deplorable.
Mr. Conlon, there certainly is a situation with some substandard hotel properties that we may have here in the city. You know, I think this would be something where perhaps these experts and these resources from the state could maybe point us in the right direction in regards to how we might sort of mitigate those issues that might be there. You know, I really think it's one of those things where we could tailor this project and this program, with that being one of kind of the centerpieces we might want to address. It's not one of those cookie cutter programs like you may see from certain organizations and that type of thing. They actually kind of tailor it to the city. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? That very well may be one of our, you know, major weaknesses is lack of quality hotel rooms. So that's a problem. It is a difficult one to fix. But I think anything we can do to bolster our tourism industry and tourism here in the city of Perry, you know, could maybe offset some of that. Kind of a rambling response, I apologize, but
But these folks have worked all over the state, haven't they not?
they have,
And our hotel situation in Perry is not exclusive to Perry.
sure.
There are a large number of communities that are experiencing the same thing, even to the point that some cities have actually gone and bought the hotels and torn them down because they haven't been able to find a solution to solve it at very expensive numbers. But I think that these folks would have seen those situations throughout the state, and they may be able to bring some potential solutions or ideas that we can, you know, work through that problem with. And I would hope that they would be able to provide us with some insight that they have that maybe we don't have.
Well, and also, it strikes me as the more tourism you have, the more likely you're gonna have a newer hotel built.
It's true. But the development of new hotels is often driven by the tourism that you have in the community, the number of stays and that type of thing. So if we can bolster our tourism, then maybe, you know, a hotel developer could look at us as an emerging market, and, you know, decide to put their next property in Perry.
With this data, what's this motel out here doing, this tearing parts of it down?
Super 8.
An extensive,
What?
Super 8.
Uh-huh.
they're doing an extensive renovation.
They're adding another floor, they're closing it in. I mean, they're doing exactly what
What needs to be done?
needs to be done for the motel.
So they are gonna put another floor in.
That's my understanding.
And the interior part. I know the CBB has addressed this for years. I served on it for 13 years, and this is the #1 problem that we had. And commercial competition is the answer. It just takes longer when you talk about motels. And when you're, again, it's private property, and I think we have already seen the benefit of that. That one hotel is one of the first. It's very expensive in order to convert an exterior Carter hotel to an interior Carter hotel, but I'm very glad to see that particular person has done it. We've also had a number of interior Carter hotels built, and one of the most profitable and occupancy stability is the Holiday Inn Express. That success is going to breed more success. It may take a while from that standpoint. I'm told there are 2 new hotels that are going to be built outside of Highway 96. They're at Lake Joy Road. That's coming. The more that we experience this tourism as a destination, I think you're going to see more people willing to make the type of investments that we're talking about. I'd be shocked if we didn't see more being built. There's not one at exit 138. I think that might be the next target, if you will. But I agree. I think the more exposure that we can get and to tag on their statewide memory and as a resource can do nothing but help us. We do recognize it as a problem, and I think that problem's slowly starting to exacerbate itself in the fact that people just aren't staying there. If you look at the occupancy rates for these hotels, if I'm not mistaken, they're dropping from that standpoint, and that's good and that's bad. But we got to go through the bad before we can get to the good, so I think it would be a positive to move forward with this. And I think we're overall moving in the right direction from that standpoint.
I agree with the mayor. It's a complicated issue. But we're working on it. We should have a draft of the hotel feasibility study in this week. And I think that would shed a lot of light on this kind of conversation that we're having right now about what we should expect to see here in Perry.
Okay, now you mentioned the figure $1,200 to $3,600 in expenses.
Yes, sir.
Last time you told us something about expenses with branding, and it cost thousands of dollars.
But he told us about it. He did tell us how much it was.
He did tell us it cost
Mhm.
approximately 10,000, but we over that.
No, sir, he told us that the first round would be $10,000 with the anticipation of spending up to $100
Yeah.
on it, so.
I don't recall that.
Yes, sir, he did.
I didn't say he did. I said I don't recall it.
Okay,
I would love to see something in writing to that effect, though.
he did it. We can go back and look at the minutes.
But we can take this out of hotel motel tax, can we not?
Yes, that's right.
I think it would be money well spent.
Yeah, I think you can use it to your tourism and, you know, and if you have a 4-day session and it costs you $3,600, you're probably gonna get a lot more than that out of it as far as information.
If it is that much, I think that's good, because that means that many more people from the state are coming down to see
Yeah.
what we have. So,
Yeah, I would hope that they would, so.
you got my vote.
It also makes us eligible for state tourism grants and that type of thing that we wouldn't otherwise be eligible for.
I'd
Yeah.
say move forward.
Any other comments? Is there something we need to vote on, Mr. Gilmore?
As long as it's, which appears to be the case, if there's concurrence with council, that you're, go ahead and sign off the documents and apply. I mean, it's all.
Your opinion, huh?
I'm okay as long as we don't run up a big bill and see very little results,
Okay.
because I don't know what you do about a motel that just keeps on deteriorating.
Well, same thing we do with a house that keeps on deteriorating. You wait till it gets to a point of health or a health violation or a safety violation, and then we have to step in. Otherwise, the market's gonna have to correct itself. There's not a whole lot we can do about private property that we haven't already done. Economic pressure would be the best, and this is one of the best ways, I think, of bringing that economic pressure to bear.
Bring it on.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Ms. Hampton, you want to add anything? Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's
Go
a
ahead.
fee that's the size of the package and amount to the fee we pay if we get, is that a $1,200 package?
I'd have to look.
Well, wait a minute, if our attorney has to review it, print it on both sides. Less pages. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
3B, discuss a donation of a certain portion of a parcel to House and County Board of Commissioners for street construction. Mr. Gilmore?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and council, in your board pack is a memo from me as well as a site plan that shows you a certain portion of Moss Oaks Road. That property is owned by the city, and the county has contacted us requesting that we donate a portion, which would be 40 feet running along the length of, if you can see where the cut is for the street. Everybody see where I am on your map there? With the intention that the county is coming in and they are improving and paving Lost Oaks Road. You all remember, this has been a long-term project that the city has supported, and the recommendation to you all would be that you concur allowing donation to the county.
Just for information, are they gonna straighten it out? Is that what they're talking about doing, so they can come across the creek at a different angle?
I think that's right.
Because I was just curious as to why they needed the whole, is that part of the industrial park?
Yes.
Okay.
And it basically gives you a paved road from industrial park across the Mobile Highway,
That's right. And that,
which been needed.
right, that's always been the direction and intention of the city. Right? They don't want the whole thing, they just want 40 feet.
Oh, they just want 40 feet along the side?
Right.
I thought they wanted the whole parcel when they were.
No, I'm sorry, no, it's just, see where the parcel butts the street,
Mhm.
or the road?
Just 40
Okay, they
feet
want
along
40, more 40 feet. Right. And then they'll try and get 40 feet from the other side, and that'll be their standard.
Do we have any utilities in those easement, in that easement?
No. There is one gas main that runs up, but that should be lower, but they'd have to address that anyway, because it goes under the road.
Because they were talking about changing the elevation of that bridge because of the flooding and that kind of
It's
stuff.
too low.
It's too low.
As long as we retain whatever easements we have now for our utility, I'd be fine with it. Is that good, council? Okay.
Good.
All right, thank you. Item 3C, consider subdividing a parcel in Evergreen Cemetery. Ms. Hauser.
Good evening.
Good evening.
In your packets on your board pack, you have a map that shows part of Evergreen Cemetery. And on that map, it shows R13, which is Walker and Giles, they're owners, they're family members, and they divided that parcel at one time. What happened is that a monument company came in and asked us to flag the area for the Bledsoes. So we flagged what we thought was the correct Bledsoe, which is over in section S13, and that was not what they were looking for. At some time, the great-grandparents had told the Bledsoes that they could bury some of their relatives on the other side of the Giles, but it is not a part of the platted map of Evergreen. And
That parcel that they're asking about.
the parcel they're asking about.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
That's okay. They asked about that, and we did find some corner markers out there. We did not know who they belonged to, and we finally, through a lot of research, found out that they belonged to this particular Bledsoe family, which was Rosemary Hudson and her daughter Janice. Her daughter Janice is the one that really wants to use that property in the future. But the city is no longer selling those plots.
Well, this is not well, let me ask this question. Is the property that you delineated on here adjacent to what I'm showing as Giles in R13?
Yes, it's in that blank area.
It's in the blank area to the right of that on this map. Is that a platted lot?
No,
Has it ever been a platted lot that we know of?
not that I know
Okay, so this is just vacant cemetery property they're asking to be
Correct.
platted and for them to use.
of. Correct.
Okay.
Well, can you help me, enlighten me on the markers?
They're a little
Where,
corner- a
I
little
know, but where
corner.
are they?
They're at the corner of Giles, and then they went down toward, there's a tree that's there, and they went down towards that tree, and they put 4 corner markers on there.
When, do you know when that was done?
She told me it was in 1988.
They went out and platted it themselves?
Or marked it, they marked it.
Well, let me ask a dumb question. Is there anybody buried there now?
No, not that they know of. We
Okay.
have not done any soundings or anything, not that we know of. There could be.
And there's no record of it, legal or otherwise,
No.
written record?
No written record.
Why do you suppose that they thought it was theirs if they,
Because one of the great-grandparents told them.
You got it written down somewhere?
No,
Mhm.
I asked.
It's a word of mouth.
It's just word of mouth. I was very specific, because it took a while to find out who actually put those out there. And when I talked to Ms. Hudson, she said, well, her great-grandmother had told her that they could be buried out there, the rest of the family.
So you found old vowels from it, if you want to word it out.
if you do that, then I want, on this other side of that tree, I want all of that.
Well, it's gonna be your decision,
Well,
Really?
so far, you're not eligible, but it does bring up a good point. It's-
And if you look on the map, you see that there are some blank spaces, most of it's in the very, very old section of the
Yeah.
cemetery.
That's the case all over the cemetery. There are spaces that could be used, but have never been platted. And, well, look across the street. There's areas that need to put several graves. So if we gonna do that, we just gonna open Evergreen back up for public purchase.
That's what would happen if you choose to do that.
Well, when I bought a while back, after I retired from the funeral home, I bought spaces I had to pay for. And expected to, mind you, but I don't know how they can expect us to give them anything when we've charged all these other folks.
The other thing is, do you really want to start re-subdividing it?
Right.
I think the cemetery is beautiful like it is. I'm not sure that we want to get in the land business.
I agree. That's what I said. If you do this for this family, and I love to help folks, but we're gonna have to do it for everybody that asks. I just asked for the whole other, all these other people.
I had my name in there first. I've already contacted them.
But that's factoring a lot more expensive.
It is, don't recall that.
That's the good side of railroad tracks.
I just think that, you know, there's gotta be a reason we stopped selling before. I don't know what drove.
I'm not sure either, other than I think we ran into some problems exactly like this, that nobody could verify that that family owned it. We do have some lots that are empty, and that's simply because we don't know where the family members are. There may be one burial in there, they don't know who the owner is.
You ain't got no record.
Yes.
That's the other problem, that there could be bodies under there somewhere.
Yeah, that's what worries me is that.
Ain't no way we can find out,
And not without,
digging up.
no, we don't want to dig it, but there is a way that you can sound it, and there's some equipment, but it's not cheap.
Well, actually, ESG has that equipment, and they helped us out one time on that, and they'd probably be willing to do that again. That way you wouldn't have to spend $10,000 on this equipment.
Well, I just think it's a bigger issue than that, is that I've talked to a number of people who would like to buy property at Evergreen, and we've told them continuously, we don't have anything available. So we go out and subdivide this because my great-grandfather told me that it was okay, you know, that we could be buried there. I'm like, well, I got a lot of friends that great-grandparents have told them they're gonna be buried there.
The only way that any of these lots can be sold is by private sale. And we've had a few of those, not many, but we've had a few of those in the last 2 years.
My suggestion would be that we respectfully decline their request, that this is not a platted piece of property, nor that we can tell has ever been a platted burial lot. We are not replatting anything in this cemetery at this time. If they wish to be buried in this cemetery, my suggestion would be for them to contact existing owners and see if they would like to buy something from one of them,
Okay.
or offer something in, what's the other one, Woodland. That would be my suggestion. This is, unfortunately, word of mouth doesn't count when you start talking about real estate from that standpoint. That'd be my suggestion, council.
I totally support.
That's all I have.
Okay, anything further, council?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hauser.
You're welcome.
Item 3D, restrict logging trucks or similar trucks from Tucker Road. Mr. Hunt?
Yes, sir. While walking my beautiful dog, all 10 pounds of her, I looked up and here comes a log truck with 80,000 pounds of timber on it. I didn't think much about it. I think maybe, he made a wrong turn. Walked on down several more blocks, and here comes another one the opposite way, going empty, going back out Tucker Road. I just don't think Tucker Road is a place for those big vehicles. That road is 31 or 2 feet wide. It's 21 feet wide, I made a mistake. 341 runs parallel with that, it's 36 feet wide. That's where those trucks ought to be. And I wouldn't do anything to hurt Interfor, but I don't believe it's Interfor that has a thing to do with it. I think it's the driver themselves. They're turning either on Hill Road or Keith to avoid the 3 red lights downtown. That's just my personal opinion. Why else would you get off of a 3-lane road and get off of a street so narrow that 2 of those big trucks can't meet each other without stopping? Not to mention the children that live on that street on Tucker, especially down around the school, and that's another issue, there's a school down there. We just don't need to allow this.
What is your proposal?
I propose to put signs up on it, no trucks, log trucks or otherwise, tractor trailers. Now, I know, once in a while, and it happens even today, some truck driver that's an over-the-road driver is gonna miss that red light at the hotel and come straight. I understand that, and that's gonna happen, I don't care how many signs we put up, once in a while. But this is not a once-in-a-while deal, this is getting to be a issue as the drivers learn that they don't have to come downtown. They can turn either on Hill Road or Heath and put them on Tucker and go to the mill.
Council?
I don't think you can put up a sign that says no log trucks, can you?
No, you can't do that. You have to put trucks weighing over so much weight, I would think.
We do the same thing similar to what we did on Houston Lake Road, and when they have that cutoff going down there, and what we also put on Main Street, you get past Paul. You just have to say, yes, you concur, and we'll start the process of restricting the size trucks that Mr. Hunt's talking about. It won't be just like, it won't be just log trucks, I mean, basically all
Yeah, all
trucks.
What if you, somebody down over there, forget a moving van?
Those are allowed. If you're coming in for some particular
Be
purpose,
through
on the right, no through.
No through trucks allowed, is what the sign says.
Well, a log truck's not a through truck. It's got a specific destination, it's not a through truck.
I'm mainly concerned with that, like going back to what Mr. Riley's saying is that, I guess, I'm not a driver, but you get your red light, and you got other people standing there, you know, you don't wanna swing out and hit somebody, you know what I mean? And so when they, I guess when they start driving, they find a better route, and so they start doing that, you know what I mean? I seen they had to stop up at the red light and had to wait, if that's the car there, you know, to make that
Right.
turn a lot of times.
But the turn at Tucker and Hill and the turn at Keith and Tucker,
It's
that was
worse.
terrible.
It's what they, some of them can't make it without.
They
going
couldn't
over
make it
the
on
curb.
that Keith drive, it'd be awful tough.
And they ain't got no cars out there in the way though, you know, that's only different, I'm just saying,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Streets
See,
so much narrower.
it might be, but the whole purpose was, and I wish we could talk to one and see why he turned like that, you know what I mean? I say that,
It's like Riley said, he doesn't have to stop at a red light.
That's what I'm talking about.
More time, less time.
it's right, makes sense to me too, I'm no driver though.
But the problem is with that, like Mr. Hunt talked about.
Right.
But the other real big problem for us is if you let some of these trucks go down there, they're gonna tear that Tucker Road up to pieces.
It's not built.
You know, we've had a number of times, just with the regular traffic load, you may remember, we've had to go in and resurface Tucker and everything. And if you have that type of weight going down there, it's gonna be awful. Plus the problems at the intersections
Right.
And the school,
and the school.
and the people that live along that road that have children.
We might well fix it, like you said, go ahead and get it right so they can get off the road.
Right. I mean, if you concur, we'll, like I say, start the process, and it'll be the same thing like we've done in some of the other cities where vehicles aren't allowed.
We're gonna create, you guys would have to enforce that for a while, would you not? If we put them up?
Now, the other thing when you do that is we'll also notify Interfor as well. Because like Mr. Hunt said, Interfor is not responsible for those folks, but they have passed the word
And
for
they do
their
a very,
log trucks to stay on whatever truck route, and there's been, at least from what I've seen, by and large, very good compliance with that.
they do a
now.
very good job of that. They monitor it. Okay. Council? Move forward?
I would.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Hunt, on that? Ms. Gilmore, is there anything else under items for review and discussion that we need to address at this time?
No, sir.
Thank you. Item 4, council member items. Mr. Jackson?
No.
Mr. Walker?
No, sir.
Mr. Jones?
One item, Mayor, I noticed today large pothole perimeter road right in front of the Section 8 housing area.
I reported that last week.
Oh, you know, okay.
It was in the process, I was
Dang it, William.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Bynum Grace? Mr. King? Ms. Knight?
Yes, sir. I'd like to report to the city council that Mr. Kersey has decided that he will continue his process of developing those 34 lots out in Stonebridge. He plans to build 34 homes out there with the value of $275,000 to $300,000, plus 4 that will go over $1 million. He understands that, and he has a letter from the state that he doesn't have to do a lot of the things that we had requested. He was very fortunate in having the EPA to come down when it hadn't rained in month of Sunday, dry weather, and they say that he doesn't have to do a lot of the things that we were requesting him to do. So he's gonna go ahead with his building, and I'm proud to see that he's gonna go ahead with it. That's gonna be a lot of tax dollars for the city.
It is good.
So he plans to start right away on the first 17 lots, and he'll build it in 2 phases, which this will be the second phase, and the third phase will come after the second phase is completed, which is 17 homes. Those lots are expensive. They run from $35 to $1 million. No, I'm sorry, that's not right for a lot. $440,000. So I am well pleased that he's gonna go ahead with it.
That's good.
And I told him he would have to meet all our city's requirements, which includes that ditch out there. He's gonna have to do something with it. And I think EPA, correct me if I'm wrong, but he says he put in a 4-inch pipe, not a 4-inch pipe, 4-foot pipe. I got it right here, I can read it and see. But, he knows he don't have to meet our qualifications. He just can't go out there and haphazard build. But he's willing to do that. He wants to see that done before he goes on.
Well, good. Anything else? Thank you. Mr. Gilmore?
Yes. Mayor and council members, I have given you a copy of a letter dated August 29, 2006, sent to Mr. Goldner from me on behalf of the city, talking about installate free residential sewer system connections if you're on a septic tank in the city. Back in 2006, there was a policy position that the council had taken in order to improve the environment, make things easier for some of our residents, that if they were interested in connecting to the city's sewer system and it was not cost prohibitive from the city's part, then they could request to tie in, and as you can see in the letter, that would cover the connection cost, plumber cost, provisional materials, right in the letter there.
Mm-hmm.
A few property owners took advantage of that, not very much. Mr. Goldner has approached the city indicating that in his particular set of circumstances, he would like to take advantage of this offer. However, he understands that offer was made in 2006 and is now 2017. I'd be the administration's recommendation because the reasons the previous council authorized this program are still very valid, and we recommend to you to authorize, in essence, continuing this program to allow the tie-in. There will not be big, extensive ongoing costs with this because there's not that many of these
Will be
locations
what?
in the city. Pardon?
Will not be what?
There will not be ongoing extensive. It's not like there's 20 other property owners living out there like that. There's just not that many.
Council?
Well, I'm one of those that's on septic because I couldn't get sewage out there 40 years ago. I mean, there was a line down there in the bottom, but I couldn't get to it because I don't own the land. Couldn't go across Meadows' property, couldn't go across Fred Klein's because he was gonna put a house there. So I'm one of those, and it would cost a lots of money to run sewage to my house. You sure you wanna do that?
Well, I'm talking about running it to a house, and we're talking about a piece of property that's already
Adjacent.
adjacent to the land.
I'm not sure Mr. Golden's adjacent to the line.
Well, that's what we would have to check.
It would have to be adjacent to the line. I think the city has, it's no different than Valley Road, where those, we told those people we weren't going to extend the line out there because of the cost. And if we have to go, 3 miles to get to the line, I'd say no. It would be with a clear understanding that it's accessible to his house, just like any other home.
Are you saying it has to be adjacent?
Or it's got to be in the right of way somewhere.
Adjacent to the property.
My house is not adjacent, it's down that bottom.
I don't know where it is, so I can't address that. I was thinking that there's a line running on Tucker Road. How else would we get to Chinaberry?
Are you coming from somewhere else? You can come from Chinaberry, you can come down Tucker Road the other way.
What does you mean adjacent to the property?
Or it's just,
On either side of the road?
yeah, either side of the road.
I
On the
thought it
side.
ran right by it runs right by my house.
I thought it did too.
I'm right across from.
Yeah, but then there's that bottom down there where it hooks onto that main city line that covers a lot of area. It's a big line. It's way big around.
I think
You
we just
don't
need,
think it comes by Mr. Golders and goes right on down Tucker Road?
I know it doesn't, because I couldn't hook onto it when I built that.
the only thing I'd recommend is we look at it to make that determination. If it's feasible, it might not even be feasible to do it.
I figure we
He
got
was,
it.
he was of the understanding it ran on the right of way in front of his house adjacent to the road, so. And my understanding was it was on the other side of the road, on the Barbara Calhoun side, was where it ran in our right of way over there, but I don't know that.
But you would think all those houses in that area are the city,
Yeah, they are. I mean,
so
you
they've
know,
got to be hooked in somewhere, right?
right there, so.
I think that's a manhole, I'm almost positive there's a manhole where Keith runs into Tucker. Right across the street, there's a manhole. I know it's there. I've seen it lots of times. But I think that's where it deviates from going down Tucker. I
Oh,
think
Like
it's
I said, I really don't know. I mean,
I'm almost positive of that.
I would think that if we have the opportunity to get somebody off of a septic tank, that we probably ought to do that.
You better put a foot,
How does it get to my house?
huh?
How does it get to my house?
Comes the other way. Better put a footage on that.
I'm sure that.
No, he says that it's not cost prohibitive.
And I think the intent is that the lines should be adjacent to the property, which would be in the right of way and on the road frontage of the property.
I think all that has to be investigated, and I think we need to let Mr. Gilmore come back and tell us if it's safe or not.
I would agree.
Well, I can assure you from a city management standpoint, if it's not cost effective, we're not gonna do it, just like on Valley Drive.
Right.
Okay? But the question to you all is, if it is feasible, for example, the sewer line runs right past his house, either on his side of Tucker or the other side of Tucker, then our standard process, just like with anybody else, is we run the sewer to your parcel to serve you. That's our regular standard policy. So we would do that for any property owner, not just Mr. Golder, okay? But my question to you all is that, are you interested in continuing to honor this program since he's an existing, had this offer initially made to him about where the city would pick up the full connection costs?
On our side,
No,
To his house.
to his house
to his
himself.
house.
When you say to his house now, you mean running it on his private property from the street to his house?
To make the connection from the sewer line to where his sewage comes out of the house into the septic tank or before.
Did Mr. Golden bring this up, or what brought it up all of a sudden?
He originally contacted Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker referred him to me. When he came to see me today, he brought this letter.
Okay. I just wondered if, back in 2006, what brought it up now. I said, but I understand, he did.
Right, he did. Assuming it's a standard type of deal, but no, I'm not gonna get involved in any of that type of stuff, and then, oops, oh, my septic tank's failing. Well, now I either have to pay for replacing the whole septic tank and field and everything, or I can maybe take advantage of the connection. And it's much more environmentally satisfactory to cancel out the septic tanks and tie into the sewer. Yes, that's right.
I ain't no problem with it.
It's viable. It's feasible.
I'd be glad to help Mr. Golden out if we can do that, but I don't know how far you're gonna have to run a line.
Well, the lines will be from the street to his house. We're not running lines up and down the street to get to the, that's not what we're talking about.
No. I mean, let me clarify a little bit, okay? If anything has to be done to extend the sewer main, Mr. Goldner's out of luck.
Right.
It's no different in some areas that people want natural gas. And it requires us to extend the natural gas line, and we're just not doing that. Sorry, Mayor.
That's he want to push choice.
Here's Mr. Top, I recommend green propane.
Like to
So
do that.
that's a occurrence to continue to honor
Yes.
council's policy, subject to the normal restrictions we would have, but right here.
We appreciate it. We know you're gonna take care of that.
I'll take that. Okay, next, probably the most important issue you're gonna have to deal with all of 2017. Personnel has advised me, because personnel has been contacted indicating that Christmas is on Monday. And of course, that would be a holiday. The issue is Christmas Eve is also a paid day off, however, that is on Sunday. So therefore, does council want to, A, do nothing, or B, have Friday as the holiday off, or C, have Christmas and the day after to make up for that lost holiday?
All right, Mr. James, I like that.
Let me give you one guess.
Sorry.
It was not running this year.
I like that. I like that.
Lee, what did we do this year?
This year, we had Friday off and
Monday.
Monday off, because Christmas Eve was Saturday. I think that's right, and then.
Right, that's right.
Why don't we do the same thing?
I'd recommend the same thing, that it's less inconvenient for our customers that way, because if you close down that, on the end of the week, it makes it harder on people, so.
Thank you, my kid. I like that.
Okay. Concur? Whew.
You got something else?
No.
Hang on. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Gilmore? Ms. Walker?
No.
Thank you. Department head items. I'll come back to you. Ms. King?
Nothing, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Wood?
Nothing, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Knight?
Young ladies and young men have happily started their official season with games in basketball as soon as holidays were over. Which is going well, we've got a lot of participation. So I let you know, they're no longer practicing, they're actually in class. We've got the kitty cats in the print. How long we can keep them there?
As long as it stays this cold, you won't have much trouble.
But that's it.
Movie night?
Still on. Ellen will let her do the relay about that. She made a really nice post out on social media and shared it. I mean, a lot of people, so we're excited about it.
Very
As
good.
long as it's not cold, it will be okay.
nobody's fishing, that's what you're saying.
I don't think so, unless they're just really hardcore, I mean, they might.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, sir. Anything for Public Works, Mr. Sheriff?
One quick thing, Mr. Jackson, the fountains will be turned back on Wednesday. We froze up this morning, it's gonna thaw out. It's gonna be freezing tonight, they'll be back on Wednesday.
Speaking of which, we do not have any of our, sprinkler systems on right now, do we?
No, sir.
Okay.
Everything's turned on.
Good.
We have, run it, was there a shot because of the cold weather?
I meant for the cold weather.
Oh,
I've seen a couple of businesses who left them on and then
Have ice on.
their flower beds, their grass, their sidewalks, and the part of the parking lot that they could get to was solid ice.
Yeah.
What, ice skate?
Yeah. Inadvertently, ice skate.
Especially after Atlanta's first bank did it last year.
Yeah, that's my main concern is safety while it's freezing.
No, we got nothing about that.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Are all the street light, I mean, Christmas lights down? From what I understand from Mr. Christian, yes. There's two out there on 341 South, right at Key. Probably waiting on the ground to dry out from all that rain to get a bucket truck in there. We don't want to get stuck, miss a few ditches. I only saw two. Yeah, that'd be my guess. I know there's been issues about that in the past, and with all this rain, the bucket truck was bogged down real quick. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir, good.
Chief Lynn?
Just a couple of quick things. I was asked to give y'all a report back about the possibility of using forfeited funds for the HVAC repair. The legal opinion I've gotten is it is an allowable use if it's the maintenance of a law enforcement building. So, I guess it comes down to whether that's a law enforcement building or not. And certainly willing to, work collaboratively to get that done. But I talked to the prosecuting attorney's council, and they said you can do maintenance on a law enforcement facility. So that's the answer I have with that. Also, we did put a sign-up sheet out and gave Mr. Gilmore a copy this afternoon. For a 17-day period, we had 108 uses. You know, gym, both police and fire. Not 108 people, because some of the same people would go back. But 108, it was used 108 times in a 17-day period through the age camp. Then the other thing is the animal control facility. They're sealing the concrete today. Hopefully they're done by now. They won't leave today till they have that done, and that's in the non-epoxied areas, like the lobby and the center hallway. And after that, it's just punch list items. JMA went in and did their punch list items listed them on Saturday. After those are reviewed, we're going to go to the city side and that's the other forward. So it's moving right along. And that's all.
Do we have a date yet?
Oh, thank you. I have to write that down. The date that we talked about, and I'll send out an email, the first date that we had talked about at the last meeting works for both Parish and JMA. So I'll send that out to you. I didn't write the date down. You can send it out. It's in February.
February 3rd, wasn't it?
That sounds like it could be right, Mr. Hunt. It was a Friday.
February 3rd or the 10th.
Okay,
Ran
well,
over in
the first date worked, so February 3rd. But I'll send out a confirmation email to all parties concerned.
Anything else?
Nothing.
Chief?
Nothing,
Pardon? Nothing good? Ellen, do you have anything for us?
Only that I am, beginning to record the city council meetings and work sessions and plan to start posting those on the website, just to allow more transparency to the citizens of Perry, that ones that can't come can view it at their own will. So those will be out soon, and will be on a regular basis at this point.
Very good. I think that's a good thing. I'm not done yet. What about, wait a minute, I want to hear about movie night.
Well, just that, yeah, I plan to post that as much as possible on social media and online. And hopefully we'll get a good crowd out to that, so.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Nothing, not Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Ms. Amsley, do you have anything?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hauser?
No.
Nancy?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking, don't want to leave anybody out. How about the media? You want to throw your 2 cents with it? All right. If you're so inclined, the Georgia Chamber of Commerce is having their Eggs and Issues breakfast in the morning at the World Congress Center at 7:30.
Should we leave now?
Probably. If you're planning to go.
7:30 in the morning.
Our next pre-council meeting is Tuesday, the 17th, a week from tomorrow. Pre-council starts at 5, council's at 6. And then we've got Mayor's Day, it starts Friday the 20th through the 23rd. I have received an invitation from the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Gamma Sigma Lambda chapter in Fort Valley for the Malvin Ingram Education Foundation, Gamma Sigma Lambda chapter of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity. Say that fast. They're having their annual Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Awards luncheon on January the 16th, which is Monday, at 1 p.m. at the New Beginning Center at First Baptist Church on Garmin Street in Warner Robins. They recognize efforts of their fraternity brother, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and salute the work of the outstanding community servant and academic leaders, exceptional students. I've been invited to attend and I've gone in the past. However, I plan on marching in Perry this year. That will take up the majority of that morning, and I'm not sure I can get there by 1. If someone's not planning to walk and has an interest in representing the city, this is an opportunity for representation if you would like to go. If you would, please see me, and I'll be glad to get you the information. You haven't received in your box a copy of a letter that was to mayor and council from Mr. Gilmore, Ms. Warren, Ms. Edgman, Ms. Palmer, and where they were copied on it from Mr. Smith. And it shows a letter that I signed that was primarily composed by Mr. Smith, with a lot of help from Mr. Gilmore, as far as some specifics in there. And it shows, it's basically a thank you to all the businesses. I'm sure you've had a time to look at that, and I hope you have a chance to do that. I just wanted to let you know that I was stopped in the parking lot of Ace Hardware yesterday afternoon. Mr. Jack Nash stopped me, and he was very complimentary and says, I got your letter Saturday, and he says, I didn't realize all of that was going on. I wanted to thank you for putting that out, and I don't know whether he'll take advantage of any of it or not, Mr. Smith, but I thought that was a very good idea to do, and for a lot of different reasons, none the least of which is to thank the businesses who are here, but also to make them aware of some opportunities that they may not know are available citywide, not just in the downtown area, and I thought that was very good. It's already, I think, reaping some benefits for that. If you would keep us posted, sure. If you know, to the number of people who actually respond, both positively and negatively.
I've received 2 calls a day regarding the opportunity zone, so it's already bearing fruit.
That's good. That's very good. Please. The Special Olympics is coming back, but it's in August, so we've got time for that. Okay. Mr. Gilmore, is anything else we need to address? Chief,
It's a calendar thing. Tomorrow is the kickoff of peer leadership at the chamber at 5:30. For anybody that's interested in attending, we'll have some city people in the class that will start soon
very good. That's at the chamber,
at the chamber at
5:30.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Please put that on your calendars. Thank you, Chief. If there's nothing more,
We're gonna read Tuesday, right, I mean Thursday, sorry.
the dinner is Thursday. That is correct.
What time is it? 5:30? Huh? 5:30.
Right, maybe 4.
I'd like to remind all city employees that these meetings are now recorded.
A little late on the warning, thank you very much.
That's good. Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone's interest and participation. We stand adjourned.